don't take bullets, dodge them. By that, I mean, if you're hiring people or working with people, or you get a gut instinct that something's not going to go well, and you're early enough on the project that like you can recast them, switch them out, find a replacement. You got an opportunity. All right, you got two options. Do you want to have a tough conversation with them at the start of the film, or do you want to not talk to them and just pray, or do you want to just recast them? That's a tough situation to be in. I find that there's moments where you can have that conversation with someone, but if you are someone who's willing to have tough conversations and you're unwilling to have it with this one person because you don't think it's going to go well, chances are you know it's not going to go well, because it's one of those things where it's like, if you tell someone, you're gonna come off as very much like treating them like they're stupid. If you have to treat someone like they're stupid and you're not even started working with them yet, and like you don't want to have that conversation, you're probably better off not working with them. You're probably better off hiring someone else. Now, if you're early enough in in the project and you're not somebody who likes having tough conversations, you might not be attuned to whether it'll go well or not. I invite you to have those tough conversations. Go for it. Learn what that tough conversation feels like. You know, and here's the thing: making a project, making a film, it's like there's so much that can go wrong later in the process. And this is also true of relationships. Have the conversations. Talk about tough things. Talk about your values. If you don't have your life together, talk about that early on. Make sure the person knows, like, this is where I'm at in life. And if you're a genuine person who's trying to make their life better, chances are people are going to be willing to, take chances and see where it goes and like have faith, take a leap of faith with you. You'd be surprised. But like on a film project and something that you want to be conservative with the chances you take on people. And you want to, you might be too conservative and remove someone who you think is like, this is somebody who would have worked things out. But if they're causing so much stress to you and you haven't even started, or maybe you have started but they're causing a lot of stress, you might be in a position where you have to like get out of that dynamic. And it might be expensive. Try to do it in a way where it's as least expensive as possible. And you can avoid these situations by talking about it early on. And that's kind of straightforward. But, I don't know what it is that friends of mine, they end up with what's called set cancer. So maybe this video would be called like dealing with set cancer. Don't take bullets, dodge them. I've worked with some friends who they keep hiring directors of photography who just kind of take advantage of them or put them in really bad spots, and they have tried so hard to avoid that. Like literally the last project, they had a questionnaire and it still didn't work. And like I actually turned down that project and then heard about it later that they had more problems with this person. And now I'm actually like wondering, if I were to work with them, would it reveal things about me that don't work with them? That's something to think about. Granted, I worked with them before in a different, aspect, and it went great, I think. But I don't know. I guess I'd have to see where my heart is. Because if my heart's not in the right place to work on their film, I probably would just be another person. And it's hard to get your heart in the right film to do, a lot of work on someone's film as a DP. And I think that's the thing. That's the reason why it's hard to find a good DP who you can trust, because, it is a lot of weight that they have to carry. I'm not going to lie. Look, directors of photography, I give them a bad rap at times because they will take advantage of new directors and change the vision. But I think it's because they're carrying a lot of weight, and they assume that gives them certain responsibilities, but it doesn't. And I've been there. Like you are tempted as a DP to, boss the director around. You are that is a temptation. That is a real temptation. And it is a tough thing to face. Like, especially if you're very busy as a director of photography, you become very confident in your own voice that you drown out the voice of the director. And it's very easy to give into that temptation. It takes a lot of humility and discipline and self-control to not give in to that voice or that temptation. And I feel for my friends who go through that, where they work with someone and it's just they get a negative experience. Maybe the director of photography holds their $12,000 film hostage or something, like that's rough. But I've experienced that where I've experienced horror stories myself that have cost me years, man. Like, and I've also been the director of photography who has been a problem to other people, in the sense of my heart wasn't in the project and I shouldn't have been there. Or, I got screwed over by the person and I didn't know how to deal with it. Like I just didn't really know how to process my emotions, or how I was being wronged. And granted, actually, that instance was horrible. Like they really had no right to be treating me. It was I was funding the project. It was not really good. But no, I'm not perfect as a DP. I'm not perfect as a filmmaker. I'm not perfect as a person. I'm broken. I'm working on myself constantly. And so, but yeah, there's a lot of DPs that they're not working on themselves at all. Are you kidding me? Work requires work, man. And they're there to work on your film, and not themselves. And they're there to, people get into film for attention. People don't get into film to make the world a better place. Let's just, yes, I want to make films that make the world a better place. Now I do. But when I got into this, I think it was because of attention. You're dang right. And you know what? Most of my film friends, they will never admit it, but that's exactly what they're here for. They want attention. They didn't get it growing up or something. That's the root cause of filmmakers, okay? Let's be real. You're telling me that I can make something and put it on that screen and people will watch it for 2 hours? You bet your butt I'm gonna do that. It'll be great. Yeah, so, that's pretty much, that's a big deal for filmmakers. And when somebody's a director of photography, ooh, what's going on here? Uh-oh. Woof. We're talking about dodging bullets, not taking them. Oh, somebody just dodged a bullet right there. Man. Anyway, yeah, well, when a director of photography gets to be at a point where they're really good in their craft, yeah, they're going to be, they're going to know how to get the attention. They're going to know how to be an egomaniac. It's easy. The temptation for that is so easy. And it takes a lot of self-control, a lot of discipline, a lot of humility. Because as a good DP, you got to know that you're there to serve the person's vision and to tease it out. You're not there to direct it. You're not there to suffocate it. It is really tough to tease out a vision. And it's kind of like a relationship. You're there to find out who the person is, their soul, their heart, and not trying to control it or constrict it or change them. Yeah, you'll challenge each other, but you're not looking to control them. Same with filmmaking. And you know what's funny? The DPs who are horrible with working on films, who control the filmmakers that they're working for, the directors that they're working for, and change their vision, they're actually very much bad at relationships too. Why is that? Let's unpack that. Usually it's just, I mean, they're just built that way, man. Like they see how things affect them, not others. They don't have their values in a place. Like, I'll tell you this. I'm coming back from a date right now. I'm finding in terms of dating and relationships, getting into the dating scene as a Christian man, I am in a better place dating others and showing up and being respectful towards them than I ever have been in my life, because I am not here to do things to them that God didn't intend it and wouldn't would make them worse. Now, granted, a lot of it is other things I've learned, like a lot of therapy things and whatnot, but combining it all, into my Christian framework. But I'm very mindful of like how I conduct myself, how I'm treating the person, and not just Christian wise, but emotions wise, healing wise. I don't get physical with the person on a date. Like I'm there to get to know them, their heart and their soul, and I want, if I have to tell them, hey, I don't think it's going to work out, I don't want there to be any hard feelings. There shouldn't be if I'm not doing anything to set set expectations that I can't meet. I'm there to get to know them with no expectations, and to love, serve, and respect them with no expectations. If I'm not doing that, it just leads to a lot of pain, or I'm controlling them. I'm not trying to control anyone. I'm just trying to get to know them, and then be upfront and honest and vulnerable with them. So that takes a lot of self-awareness for a director of photography to do. So director of photographies are going to make a lot of mistakes. You have to have honor, respect, and self-awareness, and emotional self-awareness, emotional intelligence, to know how to not screw someone up. And you know what? Anyone with the sense in mind, and the intelligence and emotional self-awareness, emotional intelligence, and self-respect and honor and love, anyone who has that is going to realize that they should most likely, unless they can afford otherwise, most likely just shoot their films themselves and be their own GP. This guy! No, I'm just kidding. I'm not going to toot my own horn. But no, yeah, I'm so fed up with trying to find DPs. I was like a director of photography. I had a guy who I trusted, and who was that person, and then he was going to get an Arri camera, and I got lenses that were like $5,000 so that we could use it for the Arri camera he was getting. And then I bought the lenses, and they didn't fit on my camera, and I actually had to get other ones, so I wasn't able to use them. I really don't like them, but I got them for the Arri camera, and I still got to I still have them. He quit filmmaking. Didn't see that coming. So man, I don't know. You're gonna have to do your best to dodge bullets and not take them. It's a hard challenge, and honestly, as simple as it sounds, maybe you just got to pray on it. Pray on whether that's the person to work with. If you're having pushback or resistance or issues with someone, pray on it. The Lord's going to tell you whether you need to work with this person or not. And that, I would say, is the reason why my friends keep ending up with set cancer, because they don't have that. And if they did, I think they'd be better off avoiding those situations. But because they don't have that relationship with Christ, they don't know who to ask. And the people who I know who do have that relationship with Christ often know who to ask, and they'll get answers. And they can avoid really tough things. Like I've been really good so far. I'm blessed to have been able to avoid a lot of uncomfortable situations over the course of this film so far. My friends, I see them, I love them, I wish this wasn't the case, But they don't do that, and then they just be resentful for several years, which sucks. Like, to not have the tools to be able to forgive and give that weight away to someone else and have to bear it themselves. I feel bad for them. They have to bear this weight of people screwing them over. They have to bear the weight of not knowing who they can trust. They have to bear the weight of you know, I'm doing this really important film that's very expensive for me and it could ruin my life if it doesn't go well, and then somebody holds it hostage for me. That's horrible. And I don't wish that on anyone. I know what that's like. It sucks. And frankly, honestly, honest to God, ironically, honest to God, the best tool I've ever found is to pray to God about it. God, should I be working with this person? Yes. Can I trust them? Yes. Try on the answer. Ask him the question. Try the answer on. And then see how it feels to say it. And if it feels like that's what God's saying, like you can tell. Like, do you really feel honest when you say the thing out loud? It's kind of like with writing. It's same with writing. Like, if I write something on the page, I know whether it feels true or not. And if you ask God, hey, this or write something, or ask God, you know, this thing, try the answer on, put the words out there or on the page, doing a prayer journal or anything, you will sense or see or feel that you will just know that that's the truth. And the answer might change, you know, here versus like several instances later, you know. And it's really just bringing it back to God and asking him for guidance. And if you don't know, ask him, hey, can you help this go well? Can you be with me here? And you know, I think that's why, like, I make so many Christian things now. It's like my videos are more like a Christian channel than a filmmaking channel, but a Christian filmmaking channel. It's, you really gain a lot in life and are able to lose a lot of the weight and baggage that tie you down and keep you from doing amazing things when you have God in your life and you can bring it to him. Like, there's a reason why people do this. All right, there's a reason why people are Christians. There's a reason why they're happier. It's because you can accomplish more than the average person by giving that weight to God and having faith. I'm going to be a walking example, because I guarantee, years ago I tried doing a feature, I couldn't even get started it. I was so paralyzed, dude. Like, making a short film is tough enough. Making a feature film is just unthinkable. But I'm doing it. I'm doing it. It's thinkable. I'm making a feature film now, which is crazy. Like, I'm putting drops of water in the bucket as we shoot this, and it's going to take a year or two. But you know what? And the bucket of water could flip over at any point. And that's, you know what? I've given that weight to God. It's in his hands. It's not in my hands. What do you like? I don't need guarantees. I have faith, man. Now that's a bold thing. That is a beautiful thing. And I'm blessed for that. But yeah, to tie this all up, avoiding set cancer, dodge bullets, don't take them, or don't take bullets, dodge them, whatever I want to call it. Started out being resentful, angry, full of energy, but I brought it back to God. See what I did there? You know, we're bringing it back to God, which is what you should do. Like, I think that is literally the solution. That is the best solution I've ever found if you're dealing with set cancer. And the walking example is the friends of mine who have horrible luck and fortune with dealing with set cancer. It's because they don't got God in their lives. They really don't have a place to give the weight and process and ask questions and inquire. If you have that, guess what? Like, God's going to be with you through that process, and you'll know how to navigate really difficult situations much better. And I think that's the solution. As simple as it may sound, it's not simple at all. Or it is, but it's, for a lot of people, they overthink it, like I did for 10 years. It's right there in front of you. Try it. Try praying to God, asking him whether, and trying on the answers as to whether you should deal with this or do with the work with this person. You know, he will tell you. You will get an answer. And prayer journal about it. Ask for his guidance and his help and his wisdom, and he'll give it to you. He wants you to be in relationship to him. And if you're living in the unknown, in relationship to him, embracing the uncertainty, you're going to do great things in life. Hope this video is helpful. If you have any questions or things that I can help you with about either filmmaking or faith or both, anything. Even if I am not qualified to answer that question, if God is calling me to answer it through you, then he will qualify me. So you can reach out either through comments or on email, askthomasprophet@gmail.com, prophet spelled with 2 F's and 2 T's. You can make it, if you just want it to be between you and me, private, or versus like I can make a video about it, that'd be great. You know, either way. My goal is to just make this channel about serving others and helping others in any way I can. And if you want to, you know, return the favor, you know, if I provide that value, just like, comment, subscribe, you know, engage with this content. It means the world to me, because then this channel can really grow and help others and reach a lot more people. So hope this was helpful. Have a good one. Prayers that you have a great rest of your day. Love you. Bye.